We're back out in the dirty shop today. We're going to be going over what I think is the best, most versatile way to install electronics on your NuCanoe Unlimited. From 106 SV I'm running right now, Livescope, side down, standard chart. Pretty much the meat and potatoes of tournament fishing if you wanted to go that route. You can always do much less. You don't need this to catch fish. I'm just a tinkerer and I like messing with stuff I probably shouldn't anyway. And full disclosure, if you're going to get a NuCanoe Unlimited, know that hull access is going to be a problem. Riggability is going to be very hard to do. You're going to have to come up with some pretty good ideas. So, and I'll show you why. The main reason this was hard for me, I guess the 100% reason it was hard for me, is I don't want to run batteries inside my my gear pod. I have so much junk in here, whether that's my PFD, my sunscreen, my toilet paper, dude wipes, bug spray, all dry box for my wallet and keys and shit. All that is packed in here. I don't want to throw batteries in there also and have to route wiring and then grab something out of there and rip the wiring out. I just don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it's set up. I also don't like having a captain's bridge across the front of here. I feel as if it just destroys all of the space up here. If I put 110 or 112 or 212s up here and I hang a crankbait in the front of my trolling motor and have to go get it out of there, either that or cut it or hang out with it for the rest of the day, I don't want to do that. Also, if I do a hook set, let's say I'm not using my screens that day and I'm out punching, flipping docks, frogging, miss a hook set and send my lure careening into my graphs. I don't like that either. So I feel like it kills the front part of the kayak, makes it non-usable, and it's not very versatile. And if you watch any of my videos, it's all about versatility. It needs to be, I want to load this thing up, and if I want to go fish shallow, if I want to go fish deep, if I want to use Livescope, if I don't want to use my graph at all, I want to be able to kick it off to the side. I like versatility, and this is just not versatile enough for me. Which means there's growing pains involved in installing all of this. Working my way back here, we're gonna head to the graph. Here is my graph layout, how I have it. I want it mounted on the side, which means I had to build a custom mount. I'm not gonna get too into this mount because I'm gonna probably do an entire video all on its own. But then I have a giant, huge ram ball mount that is so sturdy, it'll move the whole kayak. It's insanely sturdy. I have no issues going down the road with my, well, not my screen, but my base plate just laying on there. I leave my wires on there. It's just one less thing to set up, and it's insanely versatile. Let me get to the front of this and I'll show you how versatile it is. That was a lot of shaky camera movement. I'll show you. We'll show you something. Don't you worry about that. So do not try to mount this giant ram ball mount onto the gunnel of your NuCanoe. You will destroy it. It's too heavy for the factory gunnels. You will have to build a bracket that you can mount this ram ball to. But if you go through this, and I'll show you how to do this in later on videos, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you get notified. But if you do this, if you do, you can loosen this up. And if you're scoping, you can have this directly out in front of you. And you can be sitting in your seat back there and it's directly out in front of you. If you want it just out of your way and you're not doing anything, there's infinite adjustability with this. You can just drop it down and off to the side. Or if you want it just kicked up and out of the way. I run it a lot just like this. You see how it's directly in front of my face now. Where it's just off to the side, it's not in my way, it's aimed at me, because I have to have my entire deck clear. It'll give me anxiety sitting in this if the walls seem like they're closing in around me. And I'll get it into the kayak and give you a look at what I see sitting in the seat of my kayak, because I know a lot of this stuff is going to seem like it's very cluttered. So let's do that now. I'll get my fat ass in there and we'll see. So this is what I see. See how I have all this space. I have no screens in front of me. I don't have to lean way up here to click through anything. It's off to the side. My 106 is all right at my fingertips right there. My Livescope. I am still running the Railblazer on the side of this thing. I did an entire video on that also. Love it. Wouldn't go anywhere without it. I love how it kicks up out of the water. If I want to, whoa, a little Blair Witch Project action going there. I can just kick, flip that up and it falls. Snaps right back in. Handle. I like the way it tucks up and out of the way. Versatility is the key to my whole setup. Being comfortable is the key to fishing good. Fishing well, fishing good, fishing well. I can't talk either, but we're getting there. So this is all open. So I'm running my 106 SV here. I'm running my Railblazer right there. And then as far as wiring goes, we'll get down into this corner, because I had to get really creative with that too. And you're probably not gonna like the layout of where my batteries are and whatnot, but I'm telling you, it tucks everything out of the way and gives you way more space. You're not killing a bunch of surface space with batteries. So let's go do that. So over here, I just have them through bolted right into the kayak there. Like I said, we'll get into this mount, my mount for my everything else that's super heavy. But there, my transducer and power cable go through there. My transducer cable is wound up and zip tied to the edge of this. Then my transducer cable comes out and goes into my retractable transducer mount that comes up and down. That's a NuCanoe piece. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I wouldn't recommend getting that transducer mount. I would go, especially if you drag your kayak. For me, I just have to be pretty mindful of it so I don't rip it off. But mine gets trailered in and out of the water. If you're dragging this thing across any gravel, concrete, whatever, and you're running like a GT56 or any of the larger Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin transducers, they're going to stick out from underneath the kayak a little bit and you're going to tear them up. So if you're dragging a lot, I would maybe find a fixed scupper plug mount. I know there's a lot of companies out there that make them. I would buy a fixed scupper mount that tucks up inside of the kayak a little bit better. This one works really well for me, but for anybody putting this in the back of a truck, dragging it, beating the tar out of it like that, you ain't gonna work for you. So moving on, we've got power cable, transducer wire comes out here. My power cable actually goes to the back of the boat. And I put it, whoops, inside of here. This is just this is what runs my 106 SV. Runs it for about 12 hours the way I use it, maybe 8 if you're using, you know, constantly have your side scan on and everything else. But this tucks down inside of here, which frees up more deck space up there, and it makes it a lot easier to install. It's just velcroed in. It's solid in there. That rides inside there for the rest of its life probably. Might be asking yourself, what do you do if you fill that up with water? I'm going to tell you what you do. You do nothing, because I filled it up with water twice because I have an issue with my hull right now. So I filled it up with water twice and nothing happens. If you wire it in right, and you don't have much leaks and it doesn't make a connection, nothing happens. Shut that in there and forget about it. Now we'll run to the Livescope stuff. That stuff, I know I'm a big fan of keeping wires off the deck. That one I make an exception for because I like having it portable. Having it portable is key. I want to be able to take it in and out. I don't run it with where I live. Some lakes don't call for it. Sometimes you don't need it, and so I don't run it. I just leave it off my boat and don't worry about it. But if you're looking for my portable Livescope video, that should be in my collection somewhere there. But we'll start with my Livescope transducer and work back. So, like I said before, I also have a whole video on this Railblazer mount. That's what I run. The base plate on this is wide enough so you don't get a ton of wobble out of it. Even though the gunnels are, kind of weak on this. You don't get a ton of wobble. It doesn't bother me enough to do anything about it. I'm not worried about it falling off at the ramp. As far as the transducer cable, I'm running that down, and then I have wire connects where it's just going to sit connected right there. And then right back there. So that wire is just going to clip in. I don't have those currently in yet. And then back here, I'm probably just going to get one of those mesh, one of them babies, and take my excess wire and just throw it in there. And then my actual network cable, that I just run that network cable out of the back here and I run it down the side, and same deal. I'll get Railblazer makes a nice slip-in wire holder that you just pop it in, pop it out very easily. I'll put one there, and I'll probably put one up above there. It won't be in the way of my rudder cable. It'll be up and out of the way. And that'll come back, and it comes right over there, and that'll probably go in right with that mesh thing and sit right in there. Livescope. Did a whole video on this. Not going to get into it in great detail, but I have a portable. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me grab a flashlight, huh? It sits right inside of there. It's Velcroed in, but I was playing with it. My battery for that's a Norsk 20 amp hour 14.8 volt powering my GLS module. So I have two 20 amp hour batteries. I have the Norsk right there powering my GLS module. And then I have the Dakota Lithium in the back powering my 106 SV unit. So you might notice I run two separate batteries. I run my GLS module on one system. I run my 106 SV on another system. And I do that for reliability reasons. I travel around a lot, fish in a lot of different tournaments and stuff like that. So if I have a battery issue, they're both the same size. They're same everything pretty much, other than one runs a little bit higher of voltage, but that's not going to affect anything. But I can swap them. So I can live without Livescope. I cannot live without having water temp, depth. Water temp and depth, really, is what I can't live without having in a tournament setting. Could I do it any other day of the week? Sure. Do you need all this to catch fish? You absolutely do not. But in a tournament setting, I can flip-flop batteries to run this unit. I don't have to run Livescope all the time. It's just for fixes when you're out on the water. I mean, two separate systems like that. If one fails, you can kind of use parts to repair the other one. I build a lot of stuff out like that. I build it to fail, essentially, because anything electronic will fail. So that's kind of the lowdown, the giddy up of the whole spiel, the whole kit and caboodle, if you will. Let me know for these base plate mounts, if that would be something somebody would use. Is there a market for that? Because, I mean, this is solid as a rock. You could tow the kayak with it. Maybe there's guys, catfish guys, anything you want to through bolt, stuff like that. anything you want to through bolt and be very solid. Whether that be downriggers, bigger rod setups for trolling, catfish guys, all kinds of stuff like that. Let me know if you want to be able to mount bolt parts essentially to your kayak. And yeah, because I don't know if there's going to be a market for it. Maybe there's not. Maybe this was just a one-off and it works well for me, but it won't work for anybody else. Either way, that's the whole deal. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.